Ladles, jelly spoons and all you nostalgic types out there, welcome to Kohigh Mathy's YouTube channel, coming at you live via videotape from the Orbital Broadcast Bunker, Britain's first and only airborne subterranean studio. It's your favourite trio of retro enthusiasts here today, and we're going to fire up our flux capacitor and take you back to a time when Project Ego wasn't just Peter Molyneux's morning mantra. Back in the day when we believed Peter could actually walk on water, or at least program it into a game. But I thought Project Ego was what the youth call a selfie, but no matter. Assume this is all related to some sort of button mashing entertainment. Today we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Fable, the game that made us believe our choices mattered, even if they were mostly about whether to kick a chicken or not. Now, back in 2004, Fable hit shelves and players everywhere faced the ultimate dilemma. Should I be the hero Albion deserves, or should I just burn place to ground? And of course, we all know which option were more fun. Wait. So this game lets you choose to be either good or evil? Fascinating. But more importantly, did the hero ever stop for a nice brew along the way? Tea was optional, Keith, but terrorising villagers wasn't. But what made Fable so special? I mean, it was one of the first games where you could really shape your character's destiny. It wasn't just about levelling up, it was about whether you wanted to be remembered as a saint or as a sinner. Yeah, good old days, you know, when choices mattered. Unlike today, I'm lucky if my GPS don't send me into ditch. Fable was like the original choose your own adventure story, but with less reading and more, well, setting things on fire. Speaking of adventure, I am reminded of a time I encountered a particularly grumpy badger in the Sussex countryside. Now that was a moral dilemma. Badgers' moods greatly influence their behaviour. When threatened, they become highly aggressive, growling and even charging at threats. Let's not get carried away, Keith. For those of us who weren't out charming badgers, Fable was the game that let us live out our wildest hero or anti-hero fantasies, from the whimsical world of Albion to its unforgettable characters. It's no wonder this game is still a beloved classic 20 years later. And let's not forget the hype machine that was Peter Molyneux. Oh god, the man could sell ice to Eskimos. He had us all convinced we'd be planting acorns and growing trees in real time. It didn't quite happen like that, but you know, hey, we got a chicken kicking contest out of it, you know, so swings and roundabouts. I've never understood the fascination with kicking poultry, but I suppose it's better than fighting sheep. Whether you were a chicken chaser, a hero, or something in between, Fable had something for everyone. And in today's retrospective, we're going to dive into why this game still holds a special place in our hearts. So, grab your sawdust off your Xbox and let's journey back to Albion, a place where your choices actually matter. At least until you got distracted by trying to find a tavern that sold best on tap. And if you need a tea break, don't worry, I'll be here to guide you through the finer points of proper tea brewing.
Smile on any sister's face for only 3 gold pieces. Maybe later, but hurry!
Fable was the first game developed by Big Blue Box, a smaller studio linked to Peter Molyneux's Lionhead Studios. The founders of Big Blue Box, Dean and Simon Carter, wanted their first project to stand out and meet high standards rather than just creating another generic game. To help them focus on making something unique, Molyneux suggested the idea of Lionhead satellites, where Big Blue Box would receive technical support and resources from Lionhead. After some challenges finding a publisher, Microsoft offered them a contract. The Carters envisioned a role-playing game like no other, set in a stunningly beautiful world filled with waterfalls, mountains and dense forests. They wanted the game to be populated with characters who had real personalities and reacted to players' actions. The hero would change based on how the player played the game, aging, getting scars from battles, or even sporting tattoos and dreadlocks. Their goal was for every player to have a unique experience and their own story to tell. Initially, they jokingly referred to the project as thingy. During development, the game had several more working titles, including Wish World and Project Ego. It took them about 4 years to complete, with a team of around 70 developers working on it. The core idea was that the hero would visually reflect their experiences, and that the world would react to the player's choices. Peter Molyneux was very enthusiastic about Fable, even claiming that it would be the best game ever. Previews highlighted the game's unique humour and atmosphere, comparing it to the fantasy worlds of Terry Pratchett or Piers Anthony, which set it apart from other RPGs at the time. The music for Fable, except for the title theme, were composed by Russell Shaw, who had previously worked on other Molyneux games like Magic Carpet and Black and White. Danny Elfman, a well-known Hollywood composer, were brought in to create the title theme. Elfman noted it were unusual for a Hollywood composer to work on a video game because many developers preferred synthesized music that mimicked an orchestra. However, Elfman insisted on using a small orchestra for Fable, which made the project more challenging for Shaw and the team. Did you know they originally planned for Fable to have a multiplayer mode? Can you imagine that? 4 players, 1 hero and 3 sidekicks all working together. But it got chopped in March of 2004 thanks to those pesky time constraints. A bit like that time you promised to help me move a sofa and then conveniently ran out of time. I didn't forget, Pat. I was just strategically delayed. Besides, who needs a sofa when you've got a perfectly good floor? Build character, you know. Build character? It just gives you a bad back. Man. Anyway, did you find the gravestone in Litchfield Graveyard that says Captain J. Sparrow, may the winds always be at your back? Ah, yes, cheeky nod to Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. You'll love these little references, like finding buried treasure, except it's a clever pun instead of gold. Although between you and me, I would much rather have the gold. Fable is a role-playing video game where you control a character known as the Hero of Oakvale. From a third-person perspective, you can interact with people, objects, fight enemies, and complete missions, called quests. These move the game's story forward, and besides the main quests, there are optional ones that let you explore and take on tasks that aren't directly tied to the main storyline. Most quests start in a place called the Heroes Guild. The main quests, which push the story forward, are marked with a gold symbol, whilst optional quests are marked with a silver one and can be done in any order. Some quests give you a choice. You can either help bad guys like bandits or the good guys like the traders and guards. After accepting quests, you can make a boast, betting some of your reward money on completing quests with an extra challenge, like not taking any damage or doing quests without wearing any armour. Completing quests earns you gold, which you can use to buy weapons and items, as well as renown. Renown changes how people in town react to you. You can also earn trophies from your victories, which you can then show off to increase your renown. In addition to using swords, maces, bows and crossbows in combat, your hero can also learn and use spells to boost their abilities, protect themselves or attack baddies. As you complete quests or defeat baddies, you'll earn experience points. These points are divided into general experience and specific experience based on whether you used melee attacks, ranged weapons or magic. You can spend experience points at the Heroes Guild to level up your abilities. General experience can be used to upgrade any attributes, while specific experience is used to improve strength, skill or will. Strength affects your physique, health and toughness. Skill improves your speed, accuracy and guile. And will enhances your magic power and lets you learn or upgrade spells, which are categorized into attack spells, surround spells and physical spells. The more successful hits you land in combat, the higher your combat multiplier, which increases the experience you gain. However, if you're hit, the multiplier drops. The game world of Fable is full of towns where you can do more than just fight. You can trade items like beer kegs or grain sacks for profit, buy clothing, weapons and other items. You can even purchase and furnish houses, which you can rent out for extra gold. Additionally, your hero can romance and marry men or women in different towns. You know, Keith, when Fable first came out, Peter Molyneux had to do a bit of damage control. He'd hyped it up as the greatest RPG of all time, and when people actually played it, they were like, meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Ah, that's the old over-promise, under-deliver routine. It's like me telling everyone I've got the best cup of tea in the world, only for people to find out it's a lukewarm brew with a soggy biscuit. Ah, people were expecting their hero to settle down and start a family. But nope, no kids in sight. And the Macintosh version of Fable were announced for early 2006, but it didn't actually show up until several years later. Licensing issues apparently. It's like waiting 2 years for a train that was supposed to arrive yesterday. 2 years for a game on a Mac? By then I would have forgotten what I was waiting for. I'd be sitting there with me brew thinking, what was I so excited about? Oh yes, nothing important. So in end, Molyneux had to apologise for not meeting everyone's sky-high expectations. And to be fair, it's not the first time someone has promised the moon and delivered a pebble. In Fable, your hero's alignment is determined by their actions, which can make them either good or evil. Doing good deeds like saving villagers or defeating monsters earns you good points and moves your alignment towards the positive side. On the other hand, committing evil acts like harming innocent people, breaking the law, or even abusing a spouse can give you evil points, shifting your alignment into the negative side. Even what you eat can impact your alignment. Eating tofu gives you good points, whilst eating crunchy chicks, since it's assumed they're alive, gives you evil points. You can also influence your alignment by praying at Temple of Eivor or Scorm. Donating to Temple of Eivor will earn you good points, whilst making gifts at Chapel of Scorm earns you evil points. Now, your alignment don't just change how people around you act, it also affects how you look. Now, a hero with good points will develop a halo. They'll have light shining above them. They'll attract butterflies. They'll even have lighter features. However, an evil hero, on the other hand, he will emit red ears, he'll attract flies, he'll have growing red eyes, and he'll even grow horns. Other factors that affect your hero? Well, yeah, eating too much, that can affect your character because he'll gain weight, whilst drinking too much beer will cause him to get sick and vomit. The clothes that your hero wear also play a role. Bright clothes makes your hero look more noble, which earns the respect of townspeople. Dark clothes, however, makes your hero appear evil or threatening, causing fear amongst the townspeople. Now you can further customise your hero with different hairstyles, facial hair and tattoos. Even your hero's physical abilities change their appearance. Higher strength level makes them look more muscular. Higher skill level increases their height, and using higher level spells causes glowing patterns to appear on their bodies.
Hello, little brother.
So, whether you were a valiant hero saving Albion or just a bloke who really couldn't resist kicking chickens every chance he got, Fable gave us some really unforgettable moments and some questionable life choices. Oh yeah, because nothing screams heroic destiny quite like punting poultry across the village square. Personally, I think a true hero would have paused for a nice brew before all of that ruckus, but that's just me and most of the southern hemisphere, I guess. Speaking of pausing, if you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, now is a great time to give that like button a good old click. Think of it as your good deed for the day, like sparing a villager or not setting that tavern on fire. Or if you're feeling particularly mischievous, share this video with a chum and see if they remember that time they accidentally married someone in the game because they thought it were a side quest. Don't worry, we won't judge you much. And if you're looking for more banter, nostalgia and the occasional tea-related tangent, why not subscribe? After all, what's an airborne subterranean studio without a loyal crew to keep it afloat? Or is it hidden? I don't know, who knows. So hit that subscribe button and join us on this ongoing journey through the golden era of gaming and questionable heroics. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we've got coming next. Because, let's be honest, where else are you going to find in-depth discussion on video games interspersed with badger facts? Well, if you want another, did you know? I've told you before, lad, it's one per video, otherwise you're back to kitchen and I'm bringing back the tiger. Meow, 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 meow. Fable is set in Albion, a land made up of city-states separated by wild plains and forests, where there isn't much law and order. Long ago, Albion was ruled by an ancient royal bloodline, led by the Archon, during a time known as the Old Kingdom. The first Archeon's reign was peaceful and prosperous, but his power came from a powerful and ancient sword called the Sword of Aeons. Over time, the sword corrupted him and eventually led to the downfall of his entire kingdom. By the time the events of the game take place, the world has deteriorated significantly from the glory days of the Old Kingdom. One of the most important places in Albion is the Heroes Guild. A guild is a centre where heroes, highly skilled mercenaries in this case, are are trained and educated. These heroes are active all over Albion and are hired for a variety of tasks, whether it be thieving, soldiering, guarding, rescuing or protecting. The guild itself does not judge the morality of heroes' actions, leaving them free to take on whichever jobs they choose.
From the nearby woods,
A young boy's village, Oakvale, is attacked by bandits, killing his father and kidnapping his mother and sister. The boy is saved by an old hero named Maze and trained at the Heroes Guild. Years later, the hero discovers his sister, Teresa, is alive and has been taken in by a bandit king. After gaining fame, the hero is invited to fight in an arena where he faces his childhood friend Whisper, with the choice to kill or spare her. The hero learns that Jack of Blades, a powerful villain, was responsible for Oakvale's destruction, and that his mother is alive in prison. After escaping from the same prison, the hero defeats Maze, who betrayed him, and confronts Jack, who reveals that a powerful sword, the Sword of Eons, can only be wielded with Archon's blood. The hero must choose to kill his sister to keep the sword or destroy it. In the special edition, The Lost Chapters, the hero continues his journey to stop a great evil and ultimately defeats Jack of Blades again, this time as a dragon. The final choice is whether to wear Jack's mask, allowing him to possess the hero, or destroy it forever.
Right, I promise I'm not doing this on purpose, but Fable is another game that's really quite hard to talk about the voice acting in. Right lad, don't be doing what you did last month and claiming there were no voice acting in the game, when actually there were quite a bit. It's a fair comment, I admit I did drop the ball last month. Fable stands out not just for its immersive gameplay and rich storytelling, but also for its stellar voice cast. Featuring familiar voices from UK television and radio, the game's voice talent is a blend of seasoned actors and voice artists who have graced various mediums, from children's TV shows to major films. Perhaps the most recognised name amongst Fable's voice cast is Sarah Hadland. She has had a prolific career in both television and film. Hadland began her journey in the performing arts at the tender age of 3, training as a dancer. Her career later expanded to the West End, where she honed her skills in musicals and theatre before transitioning to television and film. She is known for her roles in such films as Quantum of Solace, Magicians and Leap Year. In addition to her on-screen work, Hadland provided the voice of Celia Ridley in Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. Maria Darling is a versatile British voice actress known for her work in children's television. She voiced the beloved characters of Dizzy and Rowley in the US version of Bob the Builder. Her experience in bringing animated characters to life made her a perfect fit for the vibrant world of Fable. A household name for his work on The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, Peter Dickinson's booming voice is instantly recognisable. His career as a voice artist includes work for E4 and Ireland's Got Talent. In Fable, Dickinson's voice lent authority and gravitas to the characters, contributing to the game's epic feel. John Glover is a veteran actor known for his work in television, radio and voice acting. His credits include The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Casualty and Bodger and Badger. Glover has voiced characters in iconic series such as The Animals of Farthing Wood and Spitting Image. His ability to switch between various voices and personalities made him a key asset in Fable, where he provided voices for multiple characters, enriching the game's diverse cast. Simon Greenhall is another versatile actor and voice artist. He's perhaps best known for his role as Michael the Geordie in the Alan Partridge series, and for voicing Captain Barnacles in the Octonauts franchise. His work in Fable demonstrates his ability to bring both warmth and humour to his roles, adding to the game's charm. Eve Carthup is a seasoned actress and voice talent, and is known for her roles in Dennis the Menace and The Adventures of Paddington Bear. Her extensive work in audiobooks and video games brought a unique depth to the game's characters, making them memorable and engaging. Jonathan Keeble is a multi-talented actor known for his work in radio, theatre and video games. With over 700 radio plays and numerous audiobooks under his belt, Keeble's voice is familiar to many. His contributions to Fable were part of a broader portfolio that include games like Elden Ring and Total War Warhammer. Keeble's ability to convey complex emotions through his voice made his performance in Fable particularly impactful. Alex Kelly, Melissa Lloyd and Lewis MacLeod are all accomplished actors with diverse credits in film, television and voice acting. voicing. Kelly is known for her role in Dogtooth and Before Midnight, whilst Lloyd has lent her voice to the Tomb Raider video games. MacLeod is a Scottish actor and is renowned for his celebrity impressions and work on the amazing world of Gumball. Each brought their unique talents to Fable, enhancing the game's rich auditory experience. Colin McFarlane is a British actor and voice actor known for his roles in the Dark Knight trilogy and Outlander. His commanding voice has been sampled in various TV shows, films and video games. In Fable, McFarlane's deep resonating tones help to establish the game's atmosphere, providing a strong narrative backbone. Hugo Mayat, famous for his role as Treguard in Nightmare, and Emma Tate, known for voicing characters in Horrid Henry and Everything's Rosy, both contributed their talents to Fable. Mayat's experience as a dungeon master brought a touch of nostalgia and authority to the game, whilst Tate's versatile voice acting added a playful energy to her characters. Keith Wickham is a British voice actor, best known for his work on Thomas and Friends and 64 Zoo Lane. His extensive experience in children's television and voice acting made him a perfect fit for the whimsical and diverse world of Fable. The voice cast of Fable is a testament to the rich pool of talent in the UK entertainment industry. Each actor brought their own unique style and experience to the game, helping to create a world that's as memorable for its characters as it is for its gameplay. Yeah, fun fact, in Fable Lost Chapters, Keith's character, Jack Blades, were redubbed by Jonathan Kibble. And also a fun fact for you, did you know that Fable appears in the book 1001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die by Tony Mott, the absolutely fantastic editor of Edge magazine. Now, let's have a listen to some of the music from Fable. The Fable original soundtrack was released in February of 2005. The orchestral score was composed by Russell Shaw, with Danny Elfman assisting on the theme. The soundtrack was also performed by the Philharmonic Orchestra and the Pinewood Singers under the orchestration and conduction of Alan Wilson. Fable was well received by both players and critics. The original Xbox version of the game earned an impressive 85% rating on both Metacritic and Game Rankings. It went on to win over 50 awards and became the fastest selling Xbox game at the time. At the 8th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, Fable was recognised for its original musical composition and character or story development. It was also nominated for Outstanding Innovation in Console Gaming, Game Design and Gameplay Engineering. The combat system in Fable were particularly praised. OneUp.com highlighted how game's combat felt like a mini-game of its own, where goal were not just to defeat baddies, but to do so with skill, making every fight engaging and preventing the battles from becoming repetitive. Although some critics pointed out flaws like unremarkable character design, USA Today noted that the game offered incredible depth, open-ended gameplay, and a strong story that became even better about midway through the game. The game was also praised for its concept of free will and consequences of the hero's actions. The character's humour, described as having a very British sense of humour, similar to Monty Python or Douglas Adams, was another highlight. Whilst the main story was criticised for being short, many reviewers felt that it was balanced out by the abundance of side quests available to the player. There were some complaints about features that had been promised during development but were not included in the final release, such as the hero's ability to have children, but Peter Molyneux, the game's creator, publicly apologised for any features that didn't make it into the game, a matter that was later addressed in Fable 2 and Fable 3. Because in 2005 a representative from Microsoft Game Studios confirmed that Fable would continue on to next generation of games console, the Xbox 360, leading to release sequels, Fable 2 in 2008 and Fable 3 in 2010. Lionhead Studios announced a Fable Anniversary, a remastered version of Fable Lost Chapters set to release on Xbox 360 in 2013. This version included updated graphics and audio, a new save system and adds achievements for players. Fable Anniversary was developed over 15 months and introduced several graphical improvements over the original game. game. These upgrades included native widescreen support, higher polygon count, larger textures, better lighting and shadow, specular and normal maps, and increased draw distance for more detailed environments. And there you have it, ladles and jelly spoons, the 20th anniversary retrospective review of Fable, the game that promised the world and delivered as a small village with a really nice pub. So the ultimate question that Peter Molyneux posed: is Fable the greatest RPG of all time? No, it's not. It's not even best RPG on Xbox. That title still belongs to Koto. Let's be honest, lightsabers beat chicken kicking any day of the week. Unless, of course, the chickens were trained in the ancient art of tea brewing. Then we'd have a fair fight on our hands. Whilst it might not be the greatest RPG ever made, Fable does have a special place in my heart. It's not perfect, sure. Some of those big promises were about as real as a badger that brews tea. I wouldn't say that too loudly. There's a badger in Sussex who likely take offence. Okay, I'll tread carefully, but even with its flaws, I've played Fable more times than I can count, and I still find myself getting lost in Albion. Maybe it's the charm, maybe it's the nostalgia, or maybe it's just the fact that Fable lets you be a hero or a total villain in a way that's just fun. It may not have delivered on everything we were promised, but it gave us a world to explore, a character to shape, and let's be honest, the ability to terrorise innocent townsfolk whenever the mood struck. You know, what more could you want? I mean, that just sounds like you, Pat, down the dog and duck of a Friday night after, you know, one too many pints of best. Fable offers a little something for everyone, even if it didn't come with a proper tea drinking simulator. But what we do have is a game that, despite its shortcomings, has become one of my treasured Xbox favourites. And I think that's what really matters. If you can go into Albion with an open mind and a sense of humour about all those unkept promises, you'll find a game that's as enjoyable today as it was 20 years ago. If you're a completionist, well, you've got about 34 hours ahead of you to get everything done. So, you know, make sure you got your snacks ready, maybe a pillow. And a good brew, of course. Before we wrap this up, if you've enjoyed this look back at Fable and our ramblings from Britain's only airborne subterranean studio, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow retro enthusiasts, and subscribe for more dives into games that shaped our childhoods. Or in Keith's case, his distinguished years. Let's be honest, I mean, where else are you going to find this perfect blend of nostalgia, sarcasm and badger-related commentary? If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. We'll leave you with this. If aliens are intellectual enough to travel billions of miles through space, why do they keep abducting the dumbest people on Earth? Cheerio, see you soon.